back to Young Thoughts. Today we'll be interviewing someone special, and we haven't posted in a while because we've been preparing for this interview. We will be interviewing Miss Aishah Sinclair. She's a radio host, a TV host, and an overall amazing person. So yeah, guys, hope you guys will enjoy this video. So without further ado, let's just get into it. So hi, Miss Aishah. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing great.
By the way, it's such a big pleasure to be able to interview you. Like when I was like DMing you, I was just like, okay, let's just pray that maybe we can get a chance.
In my UPSR years, we used to hear you all the time on the
radio.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Thank you so much. I'm going to introduce you so you can see a little bit. This is Aina. Say hi.
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 I'm malu-malu. Want to be part of it, but don't.
No, it's fine.
Hi, Aina.
Because the world needs to see how cute you are.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We'll be starting with the first game, which is called First Thoughts. So the way we play this game is I will give you a word and you just have to say like the first thought or the word associated with that word that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Okay. All right? So the first word is family.
Love.
Okay. Friends.
Hang out.
All right. Games.
Fun.
Quarantine.
COVID.
Oh. Yeah. Malaysia.
My home.
Okay. Hobby.
Reading.
So your hobby is reading.
I do like reading. I really do.
Oh.
I like read 3 books at one go. Why? Because I'm like, oh, I gotta read this one too. Oh, I gotta read this one. The only problem is it takes me like to settle all 3. I should just do 1 at a time.
So like at one time you're reading 3 books?
Sometimes, yes. Because
Wow.
I got FOMO.
Wow.
I'm gonna read this one too. Oh, I need to read this. Yeah. It's
So like, you know, some people, they will like read 1 book and then when they finish it, they start the next book. There's 2 types of readers.
Yeah.
Normal people would do it, right?
And then there's the 3 books at once. That's the other part. Food.
Ooh, kway teow.
Wow, that was random. You like kway teow?
I know. Yeah, kway teow is my favorite. I love it. Absolutely love it. Not
Wow.
good, but I like it.
Vacation.
Aw, Langkawi. Right now, because we can't go outside the country, but
Yeah.
Wait, if you could pick any destination to go to, you'd pick to go to Langkawi.
If it were in Malaysia, if it were outside of Malaysia, I'd like to go to Jakarta.
And the final one, children.
Noisy.
That was sincere reaction. Your daughter's just like, okay, she's gonna say amazing, great. You're like noisy. Ugh.
Like, how dare you, mom?
I know, right?
All right, so that is the first game, the first thoughts game. Now we know you want to go to Langkawi, you like char kway teow, you like reading 3 books at the same time, and you think your children are noisy.
Guys, noisy but lovely.
But lovely.
Aww.
Lovely. So,
All right.
moving
So now
on with the
we're
second one.
Yeah, to the questions, all right? All right. So, the first question is, what do you think is the biggest challenge in the industry you're in?
I think one of the biggest challenges is sustainability when it comes to work and income. So when you're in this industry, you're very much freelance basis, right? So we don't have like a 9 to 5, there's no stable income. You know, when we get jobs, it's contract basis, there's no EPF and SOXO. So those are the kind of savings. It's like a forced savings that your employers do for you. And if you work in a company and you're employed, you'll get, that's EPF. And then SOXO is like sort of like an accident provision or like an insurance life, anything what's happened to you. So these are things that are good to have. So with a lot of us being freelancers and contract basis, so we pretty much have to handle all of this ourselves. So sustainability in the form of, you know, when you get jobs, so you would probably, let's say for me, for instance, before I joined radio, I did TV hosting and acting. So the vision show, you do 13 episodes, which is probably, I don't know, 4 weeks of shooting. And then you will, you know, wait for the next job to come around. And that may be 2 weeks, that may be a month, that may be 3 months. So it's about, you know, keeping yourself and keeping your income ever flowing. And one day you're going to have to retire. So for people within our industry, especially in Malaysia, like in the West, in Hollywood, you see a lot of stars. They're because they make a lot more money, they invest. The smart ones will invest. They start up businesses, they invest in companies, they do other things. So that kind of helps them when they stop work, that they are going to constantly make that money. So the issue is in between jobs when you're younger and within the industry. And when you retire one day, what is there for you? So you really need to start thinking outside the box. And we've heard, I mean, hopefully with my generation and the younger generation, now this will slightly change where we will actually start taking on more business or taking control of our work. But yeah, heard of people who, you know, when they retired, they didn't know my money, and when they passed away a pauper. So it's really sad.
So biggest challenge, sustainability.
Yeah.
So quick question, in between our projects, like you say, you have to wait like 2 weeks, a month, a few months. What's been the longest time period that you've waited for another project?
So a big job, yeah. So we're talking about, rather than the small events and then come back and like a couple hundred in my pocket. I think the longest I went was 8 months.
Without any project?
No, with no project at all. Yeah, it was so bad that I actually considered quitting the industry and doing public relations, because that's what I studied in uni. I studied communications. I thought, okay, you know what, I'm going to just go back to this. I can't. Thank goodness that was before the kids were born. And it was just my husband and I, and he was working. But then I felt like, oh my gosh.
Understood. So that's like the longest period of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. All right. Next question. If given a choice, okay, would you change your career?
I enjoy what I do.
Okay.
I have in my mind alternate universe careers, like in another life. Had I not pursued this, I would have liked to have done that. So in my mind, I have alternate, but I would not have changed it. I don't think I would have. If I could go back into time and change things, I don't think I would. I've been very fortunate. I love what I'm doing. 15 years in, and I'm still in the entertainment industry.
That's amazing.
But this alternate life career, I think I would have been a teacher.
A teacher?
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
Very far off from what you're doing.
I like kids as long as I can give them back to their parents.
Okay, what is the biggest lesson your career taught you? Like something you apply every day now.
Oh, yeah. And I tell my kids, number one, the importance of hard work. I have worked shooting non-stop for 16 hours. It's a lot of hard work. There's a high energy. You come into work and you're like, bam, 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 for the performance, that little time that you did. So it's taught me the importance of hard work and being professional, because, a lot of people within this industry may have a reputation for being divas or things like that, or not turning up to work. I've heard of things like that, but for me, it's very important. If I've got a meeting at 5:30, by 5:45, I have to be, parked the car, all ready to go. So that's very, very important. So it doesn't matter what industry you're in, you've got to respect it. Yeah.
All right. Next, how do you balance your career and your other commitments?
Well, there was a time when I had too much to juggle. Two young kids. I was on radio already by then, so that means it was, semi-long days. And I also have a lot of work. I have a lot of work sometimes outside of radio when I come back. I'm shooting things for social media, or I may have other shoots. So what I have had to do of late is to learn to say no more. So that's how I do it. So I've got, how I read 3 books because I've got FOMO. When people ask me, I say yes a lot because I've got FOMO. Oh no, what if this is the great opportunity I miss? What if this turns out to be fantastic? So I've learned to quiet that part of my brain to say, okay, look, Aishah, you really need to pace yourself. You're in this for the long run. You don't want to burn out. So I've had to say no to a lot of things. And I plan my days out. So let's just say, for instance, like today I've got this interview, and then I may only have 1 or 2 other things today. So I used to, when I was younger, pack my day until night. I'm just driving around, doing shoots and stuff like that. So I've said no to all of that. So that's how I try and achieve this life balance.
All right. How would you describe your career in 1 word?
Well, it's very hard. There's so many aspects to it. So fun is 1 word because it really, I absolutely love what I'm doing. Challenging because it does, see, I'm adding more words. Challenging because it really does push you to come up with things, to be creative, to be on the go.
Yeah.
Okay, next. How did you end up as a radio host?
So I was in television for about 10 years at that time. So I had just gotten pregnant. I was up 6 months pregnant with number 2. So that's about 7 years ago. And the television show that I was on got cancelled. So I was on this show on NTV7 for 4 years. That show had been around for 8 years. Unfortunately, TV station had a different direction it was moving, so it no longer had space for that show. It got cancelled. I found myself again without a job, but happy. I was ready to retire from the entertainment industry. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be a mom. I got baby number 2 on the way. I get a random phone call from that time, the content manager at Mix. And then he said, hey, Aishah, you wanna come in? So I always knew that for somebody like me within the English speaking market, so there's television, those are the things that we can do at that time. Now we've got social media, we've got more platforms and channels. Yeah. But back then it was like television and then radio. We had social media, but it wasn't a platform like you guys are using, YouTube. People didn't use like channels or TikTok or Instagram even. So I knew my progression into radio would sooner or later happen. I was like, yeah, I'd love to try it one day. But yeah, I just got a random phone call from them and I decided to give it a try. And I'm in my 7th year. At the end of this year, I would have been on radio for 7 years, which is
wow. So last question. Do you regret any decision that you made in your career?
So when I was a lot younger, just only like a year or 2 within the industry, one of the big TV channels wanted to, have me act in a drama, which I turned down because I was like, oh, acting, I'm not so great at it. So there were many opportunities and roads that would have led me somewhere else, but I decided not to pursue it. However, having said that, I don't regret the choices that I have made because it's led me here. It's led me here. I've managed to keep myself relevant throughout the years. I still have opportunities to work. It's opened my mind because of the nature of my show. We interview people. So I've interviewed ministers, Hollywood stars, everyday people. So I've managed to industry experts. So I've managed to learn a lot from them and be exposed to so many things. So that kind of just prepared me for maybe the next phase in my life, whatever that would be. But I've no regrets. There are many things I could have done, but No regrets.
I just like to add on
No
what you
regret.
said. You know, you get exposed to all sorts of different kind of people, different kind of information. I think that's exactly what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to like talk to like,
Yes.
different people and like gain their experience, challenges in different careers, so that we know because one day we're gonna have to pick a career. So we know what's the ups and downs, the pros and the cons.
It's actually just for the experience.
Experience is the best teacher anyway. You know, it can teach you more than anything you learn in the books, honest to God. I could have gone to university and studied broadcasting. I didn't. But when I joined work on day one, I would still know nothing. So it's through the years that you actually learn. So I think you guys are great for doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that ends the interview.
Yeah, that is actually all the interview questions we have. But before we end this video, we have one more game that we like to play. It's called Fast Fire. So it's basically just you have to answer the questions quick. Alright? If you would have any superpower, what would it be?
I want to stop time. I want to manipulate time. So
Ooh.
I'd pause it and I'd sleep for however I want and not lose a second out of the 24 hours.
Marvelous.
That's actually really smart. I never thought, manipulating time. I always thought, going to the past, coming to the present, but freezing time and just having a nap for as long as you can. That's just genius.
That's awesome, actually.
You can have a lazy day without feeling guilty about it. Why? Because you have just,
So like you wake up and you're just like,
Time in the world.
today I just feel so lazy. So let's just freeze time, do whatever I want. All right, I feel like more hardworking now. So then we continue life.
Yeah.
No second is wasted.
So I like non-fiction. I like biographies about people. I like personal development. Books. Right now, I'm reading a really old book by Napoleon Hill. It's called Think and Grow Rich. I also am a huge fan of Harper Lee. If you guys have read To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah.
So she wrote To Kill a Mockingbird. And she has one book that she just released before her death. And she's only written 2 books in her life. It's called To Be a Watchman.
I know To Kill a Mockingbird is really like famous and well known, but like I've never heard To Be a Watchman.
Or Go Set a Watchman. So it's about Scout. Scout has the main character, right? It's about her and her dad, right? In the first one. Scout grew up and, is just learning about herself and coming back to visit the dad. So it's actually, it's very different, but it's cool. So I like nonfiction. I also like fiction. I also like anything Lord of the Rings. I'm huge. I'm really into all this fantasy. If there are elves.
So Harry Potter?
Oh, yes, like that, Tolkien, they are talking, and then the whole, before it was ruined by television, Game of Thrones. I'm not, you guys don't watch that.
Game of Thrones.
But yeah, I love anything with sense of fantasy and magic. That's how I escape.
Do you see Fantastic Beasts?
I love it.
But thank you for showing that book, because as you can see behind your big collection of books, but I've never read that one, so I can add it onto my to-read list.
I've watched it. I haven't read it. But it's written like it's a script, so it's not a story. So I think Fantastic Beasts is actually the script in published.
You've never seen the movie?
Oh no, I've seen the movie. I haven't read the book.
Oh, all right. I have a question for the Fast Fire.
Sure.
If you could go back in time, let's just say if, what would be one day of your life that you would revisit?
I would actually go to a couple of years ago. It was in Bali, Indonesia. I ran the Bali half marathon, and my older brother accompanied me on that trip. So he lived in Jakarta, and he accompanied me on that trip, and it was an amazing time. I unfortunately lost him last year, and it's going to be a year soon. And it's just when you lose somebody very special in your life, you really hold on to special memories like this. So I would love to relive that day, just hanging out with him, just the two of us. He already had his family, I already had my family, so he just flew into to accompany me because I was getting cold feet. I didn't want to travel to Bali alone and then run a race alone. So he was like, I'm free, I'll come and join you. And it was just fantastic.
All right, next question. When are you planning to retire?
Ooh! At the end of this year.
Wow, really?
Are you like kidding or serious?
That's what I say at the end of every year. I'm like, I'm tired. I want to take a break. Can I just retire already? I'm not too young to retire.
Every year it's just like, I'm going to retire this year until you go to the next year. Then I say, okay, this year, the next year, this year.
So in all seriousness, even if I did, I think I'd be looking for things to do. So I don't know, maybe I'm guessing around 5 years time. Anytime between the end of this year and 5 years.
All right.
Next, would you rather never leave your country or travel around the world but you can't go back to your country?
Oh, that's a tough one. But maybe I'll choose to never leave my country.
And like not travel anywhere. Like you can't travel anywhere.
Yeah. You know, one thing that the past year has taught me, all of us actually, my husband too, with this whole stay-at-home, home quarantine, COVID-19, right? It really just teaches you to just learn to love what you have around you. So it's like, you know, have you guys read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho?
Yep, The Alchemist.
Right? So, you know, the young boy, and he travels all around, and what he's looking for is right,
in front
there with him.
Yeah.
So essentially, that's what the past year has taught me. Maybe when I was younger, I thought I had that whole lust for travel, and I need to see the world. Although I'd love to, but it would still be foreign to me. So if I only just had one choice, it would to stay here. To stay here. Like I haven't even seen the entire Malaysia yet. There's parts of Kuching, parts of Perlis, Kelantan also. I have never been to Taman Negara. So there's still so many places I think around me. And so that's what the past year has taught me.
Talking about lesson the past year taught, for me, it's like be careful for what you wish for. Because for me, I've always wished to stay at home, do online class so that I can wake up at my own time, study at my own time. But now when you're actually doing like online class, it is terrible. Like really terrible.
You get bored too fast actually.
And like headaches because we're always facing the laptop. And like you can't really understand things. It's very different from face-to-face communication.
Absolutely. My kids are, even though again, they're also like you guys, they want to be at home and chill and on the screen, but they want to play with the screen. But yeah, online classes is it fun? Online classes? No, Zoom classes aren't fun.
No. Yeah.
You can't hear properly. You can't meet your friends.
Yeah, that's the worst
and
part.
like Zoom calls, I mean like it does help, but like it's not the same. It's definitely not the same.
Yeah, right.
So
I don't know.
that is, I guess, all we have for today's interview.
Well done on this, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It really means a lot coming like from you.
Thank you to Aina too.
Yeah,
Aina
thank you, Aina.
Come along. So of course. We meet one day. She says, "Can I come?"
Aina, you need to come, Aina.
Wow.
Like, that's one of the purpose of the meeting. So that I can see you with your true self of the cat self,
Yes. To show you she's got a tail too.
So
Bye.
cute, Aina. So yeah, thank you for spending almost more than half an hour with us. Wow. Actually, this is by far one of the longest interview we've done.
Really, huh?
Very sweet of you.
So yeah, thank you very much. I hope we get to meet sometime soon.
Yeah. Thank you so much.